Hey guys, Trigger Up John coming at you with another Diablo Immortal video. This is going to be just a quick video. I want to talk about Reforge Stones, and I want to talk about why you should probably be starting to pay attention to them. You should be collecting them pretty good right now and have a decent stockpile if you have not been using them so far. And we're just going to explain to you how you use them, what you're going to be looking for, and why you would really want to apply these on your character. All right, so like I said, and like the thumbnail shows, you can reforge your gear. Not exactly. So let's break it down and let's talk about this resource that we have, which is going to be called these Reforge Stones, and let's talk about what they can do for you. So if you go into the blacksmith, you will see you have options to salvage, you have options to upgrade. These are going to be where you can upgrade your actual gear. We're going to use your enigmatic crystals to upgrade your left-handed side here. You have the Reforge, which is going to be what we're going to talk about today. And you also have rank transfer, which is going to be when you have a newer piece of gear that you want to transfer the rank onto another piece of gear or an older piece of gear. You can do that as long as they are certain parameters have to apply. We'll do a video about that later on where we talk about how you actually do this rank transfer and what it would actually mean if you were to try to do this, just so that way you're aware. Now, let's go ahead and let's talk about Reforge and what it is. So you will see here when you click on Reforge, you can't do anything on these left-hand sides. Well, that's because Reforge only applies to legendary pieces of gear. Now, your legendary pieces of gear, as you're aware, have many stats, right? You have Heart of Vengeance, you have all these other different pieces of gear. This is for DH, obviously, because I am a demon hunter. But we have substats that we run on these pieces of gear. And by substats, I mean your literally your stats. You have your attributes and your magic stats. These are substats, right? You have these two that you can worry about, and then on top of that, you also have like your resonance, you have your legendary ability or effect, which is going to affect your skills. I definitely seen my video about skills, and I think it came out like 2 days before this video. You have your upgrades, which is going to be driven by your level of the gear, and then you have your bonus. So you have a lot of substats on these legendary items, so it gets a little tricky sometimes. Now, what does this mean when you see primary attack increase by 3%? Well, this literally means kind of what it says, that you can actually increase your primary attack by 3%. Notice that when you go to all these other pieces of gear, they all have some sort of another bonus stat. Now, this bonus stat can vary. Sometimes they're all the same, sometimes they're different. Talking about Reforged Stones is really talking about how to correctly modify and add that extra bonus stat that's going to be the best for you. So when we come over here, let's pick a stat that I'm okay with re-rolling. So let's say I have 2%, 2%, 2.5. You know what? We'll roll the dice on one of these 2% because I know I have higher ones, and we'll talk about them. So you have family sets, right? And then on top of family bonuses, you have where you can just straight up reforge. Now, to do a reforge, you hit the reforge button. You will see that you can select that attribute. From here, you get to pick what stone do you want to apply to that attribute. Do you want to apply a wildfire stone, tremor, jolt, vengeance, barrier, ravager, or just a straight up reforge? Now, if we do a straight up reforge, what does this mean? What does this give you? If you click on here, it'll tell you it does a random bonus attribute. So right now we have 2% primary attack. Let's go ahead and reforge. Notice now that I have damage taken from nearby enemies decreased by 1.5%. Now I have a damage mitigation by 1.5%, and I need to decide, is 1.5% damage mitigation stronger than 2% of damage output from my character? These are all different types of modifiers that you can have on here. I'm going to try to record all these as well so we can put together a spreadsheet that shows all the Reforge possibilities, because I think they're very interesting and a lot of people aren't really sure what you can possibly get from these. And I've seen some interesting good ones and some really, really, really bad ones. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep my original attribute. Even though damage mitigation by 1.5% is pretty nice, I think I want to do more damage because that's just the tone I'm trying to go with my Demon Hunter. Now, there's these other things where you have like a wildfire or a jolt stone. Now, what's a jolt stone? What does that do, John? Well, if you click on it, it'll kind of tell you what it does. So one, you have, say you wanted to make a family set. No different than your set bonuses of gear. You have a family set bonus. You have 2% chance when you attack to mobilize your attacker. Now, what does it mean by a family set bonus? Does it mean you have to run multiple ones to make this work? Not at all. What this means is you get a chance, or as you stack, I should say, would be a better way of putting it. of these stones, when you reforge them, you get a better chance of increasing all these modifiers. So if I were to say reforge, notice that damage taken while suffering loss of control decreased by 3%. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just choose that one for now. You know what? We'll take it. Now I have the Jolt Stone, and if I click on it, you have a 2% chance when attacked to immobilize your attacker. That's the set bonus, right? But I rolled the damage taken while suffering loss of control decreased by 3%. So this is actually, if you look on the sheet here, this is actually listed. So it's damage taken while suffering loss of control decreased by 2 to 4%. Notice that I hit the 3%, 4% was the max. Okay? So these all get added and are part of these certain set bonuses. Now, unfortunately, I only have Jolt Stone to show you. I don't have any of the other ones. But notice these all differ, right? So you're going to have different gems that you're going to actually, or stones that you're going to actually use. And they give you different things. They all have a slightly different boost or family set bonus. So like this one, for example, is primary attacks have a 2% chance to inflict that amount of damage and stun nearby enemies for 1.5. And just complete a set bonus, it only takes 2, I believe, to complete that. Now, you may ask yourself, well, how do I get those? How do I acquire those? Well, unfortunately, you do have to go and basically buy them out of the Reforge Stone shop, and they are a paywall mechanic, unfortunately, just like the Dawning Echoes. Now, can you acquire them anywhere else? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know how I got my first one, to be honest with you, but you can possibly go and buy more. If I wanted to buy another Jolt one for 100 here, I could. Or if I wanted to go ahead and buy any of these others, I could do that and then use those materials to increase or reforge another piece of gear to create that set bonus. Now, one other thing that I can do here is if I want to reforge this again, I can go back to Reforge, and I can go ahead and select what I want to do with this piece of gear. Unfortunately, it's not, there we go. And maybe I get a better stat. So if I Reforge again, notice that this damage to players increased by 0.5%. Not really a great one, so we're going to keep original. But I can keep re-rolling. Notice that was 2 totally separate type abilities. Also, that the Jolt Stone gave a different modifier than anything else. And now with this one, I can do a family set. So when I say you can reforge your gear, it's really a matter of how much do you want to RNG roll to see, okay, what can I actually do with my gear? If I can really increase it, if I can't increase it, what can you actually multiply here? And what are the possible outcomes here? So notice that this one is just primary attack increased by 2. Hey, it's the same thing. You understand what we're going for. All right, so unfortunately, the Wi-Fi did drop out. I am at a hotel right now, so unfortunately, I'm dealing with really poor internet service, as well as just really poor. Well, I'm in a hotel. You know how it goes. That's why we don't have the camera up. We don't have anything like that. However, I wanted to make sure that you guys knew and understood like how this was working and how you can use your Reforged Stones, because I know a lot of people kind of ask me, hey, John, I've got some Reforged Stones. What do I actually do with them? Because people just straight up don't know, and that's okay. If you don't know, by all means, always feel free to ask. We get these from the Battle Pass. You get them from, as you keep completing your Battle Pass, you get these rewards. You can get quite a bit of these as far as I'm aware. I don't know what the actual limit of these is. I don't know how many I've actually acquired on my account. I do know they do change. Sometimes you get them from random drops from completing things. I really need to do a better job of recording where I'm getting some of my resources, so that way I have a better way of telling you guys. But I wanted to make sure that you were aware, because I know a lot of people are starting to stack these up. We have Rite of Exile right around the corner, and you may want to go ahead and reforge and get a little bit extra boost with like a life gen, a damage, and whatnot, so that way when you get to that final Rite of Exile fight, you are prepared as much as you can. I hope this video helped you. I will be back home right after the 4th of July, and we'll be totally back to normal as far as making content and whatnot. But for right now, I'm sorry, guys. We're going to be on the road quite a bit. I'll probably be streaming and doing my thing as much as I can. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Peace.